Hello there friends, it's time to discuss the latest news, official announcements and rumors. And how did the new Navi lineup perform? Indeed, for those who didn't know, they played their first official match yesterday and today we'll briefly analyze it. So get ready for a packed video. Without further ado, let's get straight to it. Let's start with the official roster changes. I have several of them to present to you, but let's begin with the most unusual one. And the award of the most unexpected reshuffle of this summer goes to... drumroll, Fnatic. At the beginning of the summer, there were rumors that they would form a CIS lineup, and then it was said that they would change almost the entire roster, but in the end, everything turned out completely different. They removed Nikodos and Thrasher and brought in Dexter, the former captain of Mouse, and Afro. Afro is an experienced French sniper from LDLC. When I saw this lineup, I couldn't believe it honestly, but then I regained my senses and started reading what the community was saying. And you know what? The fans seems to be satisfied. Mezi will finally step down as a captain and excel as a rifler. His stats as a captain were insane, and I can only imagine what he'll achieve now. Dexter is an experienced captain who led Mouse to the playoffs of a major. As for Afro, I can't say much. Some say he's better than Nikodos, while others think otherwise. All in all, the Fnatic lineup isn't as bad as may seem at first glance. We will see their true potential at IEM Cologne.
Кстати, Fnatic хотели Декстера же на ВП, но отказался. И может там руководство что напутало, и они все-таки взяли Декстера, только другого.
Next, we have some Brazilian roster shuffles. Of course, there was a lot of buzz around Fury and Fallen with Cello, but other teams are also trying to strengthen. For example, Henny is now the new Opper for Imperial, and 00 Nation has picked up Nekis from Pain. By the way, they have practically no players left, with only 2 people remaining in the roster, Biguzera and Skulls. Zevi also left them. Moreover, it seems that departing from teams is a new trend. For instance, Brazilian Zeus left Fluxo, Cypher and Volt have departed from Into the Breach, and finally the performance manager of Heroic has left the org. And, well, could you guess where he went? It looks like a star and starts with an A. ASTRALIS, right. The Danes are stealing from their compatriots left and right. First they snatch Hunden with a scandal, and now they've taken the manager, even though he had a contract still active. But apparently ASTRALIS offered so much that he terminated the contract and moved to the new team ahead of schedule. Sneaky moves. And in terms of official transfers, that's where it ends. But now we have a ton of rumors ahead. For example, what's happening with TSM. According to Harumi and Overdrive, Inters is 99% joining the team. Bemis and Nikodos are also being tested in the new lineup. Bemis even posted emojis on Twitter indicating that the contract is signed. Then Nell, the insider, said that Inters, Cypher and Jags are expected to join TSM. Neofrag will move to Into the Breach. By the way, according to Overdrive, Nefani invited Inters to BB roster, but Inters chose a European lineup. It's disappointing that we won't see the reunion of former teammates. And the latest and last on TSM is that Jonas, the insider, told that Jax won't be on the team after all. Instead, the TSM CSGO roster will include AleksiB, Inters, Cypher and Nikodos. Each insider has their own information, and we'll find out the truth soon enough. On the other hand, according to different sources, Jax is being tested not in TSM but in Monte, and the second player on the tests is Mr. from ASTRALIS Academy. This also seems highly plausible, and some surprising rumors have appeared about Gamer Legion. According to Harumi, Neelan didn't stay without the team for long and will become the new captain, replacing Siuhi. In general, as you can see, there's a lot of rumors and zero official information for now. We're waiting for all of this to actually happen so we can discuss it properly, but well, for now I have a few more news for you. For example, the famous streamer Pixel recently opened cases worth $100,000. He received some super rare items and cases from Cato 2014. He was opening them for 7 hours straight and reached a peak of 230,000 viewers. Sometimes tournament finals don't even have that many viewers. He definitely hyped it up. And the funniest part is that he only got around $5,000 worth of skins. Gaben again tricked everyone. It's clear that the streamer made multiple times that amount with such online numbers, but what about us, the ordinary blue-collar workers? So we still have some interviews left. Navi has released 2 videos featuring their new roster, and those who wanted to see it probably already did. I will just highlight a few key points. According to Simple, he didn't expect all of this to happen, but now they are an international team. It will probably take them at least 3 months to fully adapt. As for the talks that Simple requested someone to test and recruit players, it's all lies. According to Sasha, Blade handled everything himself. He searched for players, recruited candidates and tested them also. In fact, Simple only met the guys for the first time during the bootcamp. And regarding Bit's English, well, everyone already knows.
Will you help Bit with some issues with the language?
Only God can help him.
AleksiB revealed that he joined Navi primarily because of Blade. They connected immediately and he trusts such a coach. And as for the rest, it's pretty much obvious. In general, for the next 3 months, we shouldn't expect victories from Navi, but it's still quite possible they can achieve something. So guys, what do you think? Will the new roster perform well, or do they stand no chance? Write your thoughts in the comments below, it will be interesting to discuss. And finally, I wanted to show you Ropz' 4-hour attempt to recreate an incredible jump using the bunny hopping technique. He came close several times, but he couldn't quite pull it off.
That's how it looks.
Now, let's finally move on to the games. The other day there were 3 show matches: Navi vs Vitality, FaZe vs Legends on CS2, and VP vs 9Z. All of the matches had a lot of content in them, but it wouldn't make sense to cover everything in one video. Today we will briefly dive in the most interesting show match, Navi vs Vitality. Both teams have new rosters, with some having only one player like Flames replacing Dupree, while others have almost an entire new lineup. For the first time in their history, Natus Vincere played entirely in English. They also had a new captain plus JL and Ime. By the way, in the Navi's vlog, Ime himself mentioned that his nickname is pronounced Ime, so we'll adapt to that. And before the show match, the guys had a lot of activities, playing arcade games and VR, and giving interviews. That's how a media day should work. Now let's talk about the match itself. The first map, Inferno, followed the standard rules: regular lineups, regular CS. Let's see how the new Navi and Vitality played. It's pretty hard to interpret this match as a full-fledged one, since the guys came here for fun, obviously. But we can already see the early indicators, like Vitality seemingly playing with Apex and Flames on B on Inferno. And this duo shined from the first pistol round. I honestly thought they would pair up the Israeli duo, but they decided to split up the 2 best riflers into different positions. However, Zyvo decided to have some fun in the show match. He killed Simple with a Zeus, but Bit started off strong and won a clutch moment.
In the game, but he's about to cross Apex's side and he's very loud about it. Apex does not hear him, weirdly enough, and on to Zyvo with the AWP, misses a shot and Bit clutches the 1v2.
Still, Zyvo decided to stop the over-aggressive opponent and challenged him to a duel with knives. Well, what else interesting happened? AleksiB and JL form a duo on B during defense. The remaining trio defense A. Friends, what do you think? Will this duo be better than Electronic and Perfecto on B on Inferno? Write your opinions in the comments. Meanwhile, Flames continues to tease Simple, this time with a knife. And from this moment on, the match turned into complete craziness. Knives, Zeus kills, laughter and excitement all mixed together. I consider it a perfect show match. Although they could have added more complexities like they do on Blast, and it would have been even more spectacular. But overall, the second half was completely one-sided. The new Navi lineup crushed Vitality's attack with a score of 16-8. Now it gets even more interesting. The teams have swapped their main stars. Simple will play for Vitality and Zyvo will play for Navi. And well, this is the type of content we approve of. Now let's see how Navi can play without Simple, and even more interestingly, how they play against Simple. At the beginning, Navi and Zyvo were struggling. They were down 0-5 and there was no sign of hope. But then the defense came up with an interesting solution. Since Simple Simple was absent, they needed to fill his role with an AWPer. ZywOo, on the other hand, could handle the rifle and still deliver, so the AWP was passed around. First, AleksiB tried his hand at being the sniper and it worked. Then JL tried it and it worked too. Round by round, they started to make a comeback. Can you imagine? Simple returns to the team and the sniper role is already taken by everyone else, and now he has to anchor B, and in response to everything, Magisk took the challenge with a P250 and wiped out 5 players. And then Simple stepped up. He went against his own team and pulled off an ace. Thus, Simpletality calmly secured 9 rounds in the first half. Now it's time to see how AleksiB handles Anubis. And I'll tell you this, it was weak. Under AleksiB's leadership, the team could only secure 2 rounds in attack. Except for JL, no one else could do anything. But for Vitality, it was smoothly. Synergy, frags, rounds, everything fell into place. It turns out that they can play even without ZywOo. In reality, this was the most straightforward show match of the year, especially on this map. No knives or funny moments. So let's move on to the third map. It was a messy situation, so here's how the lineups looked. Ime, JL, Magisk, AleksiB and Spinks. On the other team, Simple, ZywOo, Apex, Flames and Bit. And it was all happening on Overpass. The first half's main highlight was at 1-2 when the new Navi duo Ime and JL destroyed the opposition in a 2v4 situation. Ime delivered with a scout like a god and JL outplayed Simple in a clutch.
Where you are, you're in for trouble.
Picks up the AK as well. Ooh, charging through the flames. Gets ready to fire off the shot, flashbang over, through the wall!
And somehow the attack completely fell apart and reached an easy 2-7. And you know who came to the rescue? That's right, the sniper duo AleksiB and JL. Once again, they seem really determined to take the AWP away from Simple. They've been playing as the main snipers for several maps in a row, and it worked, allowing the defense to start recovering. On the other hand, the attack also started to struggle, and then happened a very unpleasant move from Bit. He took one of his own teammates intentionally and it was clearly visible on the replay. Oh dear Bit. That pretty much sums up the first half. The attack broke after 7-2 and the score was brought to 8-7. At this point, Showmatch turned into sweating match. Spinks delivered the game of his life.
But he's actually been loud about it, that's been heard.
He's heard.
No chance of getting anything done.
By the score 14-12, he already had 34 kills, while ZywOo and Simple combined had 33 kills. Spinks was carrying the team all by himself. It turned out that the team without ZywOo and Simple feels even better than the opponent who has both players. And in this round, the turning point occurred. The French boss returned and delivered 2 crucial headshots with a scout. Right away, Simple stepped up in the next round and secured 2 kills, bringing the score to 14-14. And just when you thought it was it, they decided to turn up the heat. At 14-14, it was Spinks once again who came through and eliminated the 2 best players in the world. Apex remained solo and A, and then this happened. Oh, Apex, CSGO. Not only he did respond on the server, but he also ran and personally shared his thoughts about the opponents. Apex was carrying Simple and ZywOo. Where else have you seen something like this? And the world's best duo couldn't do anything better than to repay their captain in the very next round.
It's back on. Another smoke in his face. Apex doesn't let him do anything.
Well, Simple won 3 maps in a row. He became the only participant to achieve that in this show match. Beat received the MVP award, which was expected, and AleksiB made history as the captain who played alongside the 3 best players of the recent years, Simple, ZywOo and Nico. Let me know how you liked this show match, whether you enjoyed it or not. And one last but really important thing, dear friends. Many of you have noticed that the previous video video has disappeared from our channel. The reason behind it is that YouTube gave us a strike for violating advertising rules. However, there was no advertising or any links in the video. I guess thanks YouTube for the fair moderation. While we are resolving the issue, we will re-upload the previous video for those who haven't seen it yet. Thank you for your support and likes, I really appreciate it, guys. And as always, I won't say goodbye for a long time. See you soon. Today we will once again confirm all the rumors that have been circulating for the past few weeks. For example, the Brazilian roster shuffles. It finally happened. Furia has unveiled their new players, Fallen and Cello. Well, now all the online viewership records will be surely broken. Furia assembled a true Brazilian dream team, with enormous media potential and super hyped. Now they only just need to showcase their power on the server. As reported by Dust2, Fallen's transfer to Furia cost them around $700,000. Not a small amount, and all of this for a 32-year-old player. Manesi was bought cheaper. That's what being a true legend means. Who else could be so expensive at such an age? Fallen, the father figure. And I believe that the owner of Furia understands perfectly that it will pay off within the first 6 months. Can you imagine the viewership they will attract in the first matches? And if they make it to the playoffs, ooh. In any case, we're looking forward to IEM Cologne. It's going to be epic. A great way to wrap up the CSGO era and transit to CS2. As for Imperial, rumors suggested that they will bring Hani and Phelps on board. Boltz will be the captain. We're seeing some interesting lineups in Brazil. MIBR has undergone a good reshuffle as well as Imperial. And not to even mention Furia. It's about time to bring together the best Brazilians in one team. By the way, coldzera revealed in an interview that Fallen invited him to join Furia, but coldzera declined. It would have been really interesting to see such a lineup. Moving on, once again, all the rumors are confirmed. Siyuhi has joined Mouse Sports. He started there in the youth team, won 4 WePlay Academy League titles with them, and never secured a spot in the main roster. He had to move to another team, with which he almost immediately reached the final of the major in Paris. As Thorin rightly noted, Siyuhi achieved what Mouse Sports have never achieved in their history. It was logical that they couldn't let go of such a talent and brought him back eventually. Moreover, judging by the interview, Siyuhi himself was not against it. Now, when they have a new, good captain, they just need to sign the 5th player and dominate with their young roster. According to insiders, it would be Jim Fat from the youth team, who happens to be the younger brother of Sergei from the Golden Ants lineup. And the official transfers don't end there. Spirit has officially announced their new roster. After a month of various rumors, baits and shuffles, here's how the new lineup looks. Chopper, Magix, Art Frost, Zontex and Donk. Basically, we've heard about this lineup a month ago, but now it's official. A super young 5 under the leadership of experienced Chopper. These guys have all the chances to make it to the top in CS2, especially since many analysts have praised how talented is Spirit's youth. They know how to nurture talents, and now we'll see if they can do it once again. But what's more surprising is the changes in Virtus.pro. First, they signed Pashanosh. He's James' longtime friend. They started together 6 years ago, and now they've reunited. He became the team's new analyst, but everyone was more curious about Kickert. All insiders unanimously claimed that he was leaving the team, apparently by his own choice. And then bam, VP announced that they would play without Norbert. Wait, what? He's removed again? Nah, it turns out that the reason is much more down to earth.
Ну, а пока у меня будет идти процесс восстановления, это моя киберрука на ближайшие 3 недели. Соответственно, замена вот этому гипсу.
So it turns out that Norbert broke both his hand and fingers, and surprisingly they signed Mir as his replacement, not as a stand-in, but for a long-term contract. So Mir is now officially the new player for Virtus.pro. He is actually a very talented player, at least he was a couple of years ago. Let's see if he still has this insane aim. Nevertheless, some people in the community believe that this was all scripted and Norbert didn't break anything, and they just benched him for fans to keep guessing. Like, they removed Norbert, brought him back, and now removed him again. But according to insiders, Mir did come as a replacement for Kickert. He's currently playing with the team just because of Norbert's injury, so this might not just be the final announcement from Virtus.pro. And you won't believe it, there's more official news. Confirming previous rumors, Nikodos has left Fnatic. As you may remember, he wanted to join the new TSM roster. Now Fnatic is left with only 3 players, Mezi, Krims and Rouge. It is likely that Rouge will also leave the team team, but we'll see. Official roster changes may have come to an end, but there are still plenty of rumors circulating, just the way you like it. And of course, everyone is eagerly awaiting news about Cloud9. When will they finally announce Perfecto and Electronic? But the thing is, they're in no rush. They're not playing at Blast, so they can wait until August. That's when IEM Cologne takes place, and that's what most teams are preparing for. Meanwhile, Electronic was spotted playing matchmaking. He was playing with his wife and Cloud9 analyst Finn. So, work is in full swing, discussing tactics and thinking about the future, at least I hope so. Now, what about Nefani? Here comes a bunch of rumors related to teams sponsored by bookmakers. Bad Boom seems to have finalized their roster and even created their own Telegram channel. They announced that the announcement will be on July 10th. Overdrive shared some information about who are the players: Nefani, Zorte, Kairon, Siren and Danists. It looks promising, and Inters might also be the part of the team, but again, all of this is unconfirmed information for now. And according to another insider, Jonas, there are currently two trios of players deciding between Bad Boom and another bookmaker, Parimatch. The Nefani's gang seems to have chosen Bad Boom, while Jerry, Krad and Dagster will go to Pari, possibly joined by Result and Kickert. In short, bookmakers are assembling super strong lineups, and it's beneficial for us. More competition, more attention, more money in the industry, and it all goes round and round. It's perfect, especially with the upcoming release of CS2. We also have information from insiders regarding TSM. Currently, the roster is being built around Alex and Beamus. Previously, there were mentions of Jax and Inters, but things are changing every day, so let's wait for more detailed rumors. Constantly talking about the new lineup in every video isn't the most interesting thing. Now let's slowly wrap up the video with the news about Navi. How's their new roster doing? What information do we have? And a couple of other things. Firstly, Navi's new lineup gathered for a bootcamp. They took photos in their new jerseys and AleksiB joined. They're currently preparing for Blast and the Showmatch. Speaking of the Showmatch, there's some information about that too. The game against Vitality will take place on July 8th, and the most interesting part is that Simple and Zaiwu will play in opposing teams. There will be 3 different maps. The first one will be played by regular lineups. In the second one, the snipers will be swapped, and in the third one, the viewers will vote to create the lineups. It promises to be a really cool show match, something we don't see every day. But of course, the biggest buzz was caused by the latest update to the HLTV rankings. Due to Navi almost completely changing their lineup, they dropped out of the top 30. It's the first time in the team's history that they've fallen below 30th place. Can you imagine? No matter how bad things were for Navi, they never dropped below top 30. Now they don't have a ranking at all. HLTV will assign it after the first matches. Meanwhile, Navi's players decided to play on FACEIT as a team, almost the entire roster. Beat was the only one missing, probably busy studying English. So they played against some Portuguese stack and lost 16-12. Everyone in the community is joking that the team Graveyard is the new name for Navi. It's clear that watching FACEIT doesn't really matter, but they still made quite a buzz with it. The YouTube highlights video of that match has already gained over 300,000 views. So now everyone knows how the new Navi lineup, without only one single player, lost to random stack. And moreover, even IEM at the major chose the Frenchman between Simple and Zaiwu. Usually, after such performances, players don't stay in the lineup for long. Meanwhile, their former player NPL is engaging with the audience on Instagram. It seemed like he already signed a contract with B8. And lastly for today, m0NESY has found another bug in CS, not in CS2, but in CSGO.
Надо, короче, когда выходишь, смотреть сюда.
Выключать сервер?
И вон видно бота, допустим. Шифтом. Вы поняли? Допустим, видно бота в попе.
Выходишь откуда? С сервера?
Видно дефолт на окшку. Когда поворачиваешься, иногда оно срабатывает.
Алло?
Also, this morning, m0NESY reached 7,000 ELO and said that's enough for now. Friends, that's all for today. I am off to gather news for the next video, and in the meantime, make sure to subscribe to the channel. See you soon.